Believe me, you wouldn't. You believe me, you wouldn't take it.
Okay.
Believe me. You know people?
All right. So yesterday we said a member. We're discussing the zroya of the Nazir. What's very unique about the zroya of the Nazir? A Nazir brings a carbon. He gives the foreleg to the kohen. This particular foreleg you cannot eat if you're Yisrael. Other forelegs you could eat, right? Noam, you made a foreleg.
I did.
And could you give it to Yisraelim?
I can.
You can. But by a Nazir you can't. So that's why we have the issue. He doesn't have to be a kohen in order to receive the matnas kuna. His wife has to be a kohen. At least, I mean, if he's a kohen, it's great. But if his wife is the daughter of a kohen, he could also receive the matnas kuna.
And then he can eat it?
Yeah, because Yisrael could eat it. But you're yoytze by giving. It's big stuff. Okay.
And what about the regular carbon that Kohen eats that Yisrael can't eat? Can his daughters still eat it?
His daughters that are married? No.
That's that he knows.
No.
Bas Truma, Gas can't eat Truma, right? After when she's married to Israelis.
Right.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
But over here, because we're talking about a different matnas kuna, not the Nazir one, so Yisrael could also eat it.
Rava.
Okay, let's just go review real quickly. So, we had this lashon yesterday, and it says like this: Zehu, where is it? Zehu heter haba mechlal iser. Where's the words? Oh, mamish, like almost in the middle of the page. It says Vosanya Zehu heter haba mechlal iser. This zroya is so special. It's a once in the Torah where a heter comes from an iser. What does that mean? It should be asur, and we're making it mutter. So yesterday we saw one pshat. We saw Abaya, real quickly. What does Abaya say? Abaya says it's only going according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says min b'minoi loy batal. If you have two things that are the same, like two bloods, the blood of a goat and the blood of an ox that are mixed together, even if you have 1,000,000 gallons of ox blood, it will not be mevatal the goat blood. And if you have apples that are truma, you have one apple that's truma, together with 1,000 apples that are chullin, they don't become batal. Min b'minoi loy batal. What Abaya also says, and we're going to see now, he says even when it comes to the flavor is also not batal. Because what's flavor? Really, what is flavor? If we think about it scientifically, what's flavor? Flavor is a minute part of the food. It's something. It's you might not be able to weigh it, but it's something. So therefore, that something can never be batal. And what's the chiddush? So really, if you
can't it be batal? It's less than 100 sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. He
Why
says
can't it be batal?
because he says loy batal, even in 1,000,000.
Why?
Because 1,000,000 is more than 100. So if 1,000,000 can't be batal, so certainly 100 can't be batal.
That's the shadows.
Why? That's it. That's what Rabbi Yehuda holds. Now,
That
yeah.
is a finish, though, isn't it?
What?
Because normally we say something that you can't see. It's too small to
Mhm.
see that we can establish.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is
That's the word of Ta'amoy Ki'ikr. Wow, the coffee's coming out early today. You fouled it.
Drop of milk falls in your
Okay.
milk and soup. You would say it's not butter?
So
It is
Can't
butter.
taste it.
And you can't,
Now-
you can't see it.
hold on. Let's just finish the line here. The chiddush. Zroya, which we said is only for this particular zroya, is only for a kohen. It went into a pot full of ayil. The rest of the carbon that's for the Yisrael. We're saying the Yisrael could eat it. The flavor from the zroya went into the rest of the carbon. Zeu heter miklal isur. It's a one-time deal where it doesn't. Usually, Rabbi Yehuda says min b'minoi loy batal. Over here he says even though the zroya and the ayil are one min, it is batal. And from here I learned to the rest of the Torah by Chullin that bittul you need 1/60th or 1/100th. 100 times more food in order to mivatal it from this zroya, because either the zroya has 60 times more, the animal has more than 60 times the amount of the zroya, or 100 times more, depending if you use the bone or you don't use the bone. So that's a baya. Comes Rava and says the same exact thing, but with a little bit of a variation. He's mechulg on one thing. He's mechulg on tam. I made this thing. It could be this is not going to help you guys at all. It's too small and it's too confusing, I think. But there's three sheets here. What's going on here with Zeu Heter Miklal Isra? You want to see more?
Explain it to us.
Made it.
Where does it go? How does it go?
Show us a picture.
Bye.
This is what we're looking at. Zroya of a nazir is zeu heter haba b'chalal isser. This is the one time that a heter came from an isser. That should be asr. Abaye says that it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda. The min b'minoi is not batal, and over here zroya is batal. That's the chiddush. Zeu heter is that zroya is batal, and that's why Yisrael could eat it. And Rava says also in Rabbi Yehuda, he's just talking about tam ki'ikr. And by zroya you don't have tam ki'ikr. What does tam ki'ikr mean? Like we just said, does flavor have the halacha of the originator? Because flavor is so small, it's microscopic, so maybe it shouldn't have the halacha of the actual leg. So Rava holds in Rabbi Yehuda that when it comes to Chullin, flavor is nothing. So if this was let's say truma, I don't know if truma is a good idea, but let's say this is an avela, and I put it into a pot, and it gave off a little flavor of schmaltz, and then I pull it out of the pot, I could eat everything in the pot. Why? Because the only thing that went in there is flavor, and flavor is not like an avela, lav ki'ikr, it's not like the main guy, it's just a little bit of flavor. No.
If it's bottle. Now you just have it. If it's bottle.
It is bottle. Why shouldn't it be bottle?
If it's
Oh,
bottle, bashit.
yeah.
If it's a strong taste, you can't say that. But it
If
says
it's bottle,
garlic,
bashit, you can.
it says onion.
So, well,
Not if you taste it.
right. So Nochamal. So when it comes to the zroya, it gave off flavor. Oh, sorry, 1 second. But when it comes to kachim, tam ki'ikr, only in kachim, according to Rava in Rabbi Yehuda, that Abaya is mechulek on this. Abaya says there is all tam is no good in chulin and kachim. Rava says no, there's a difference between kachim and chulin. What is zroya? Zroya is kachim. So halachically, zroya should be asur. It should impart an isser to the rest of the animal because it has flavor, and the rest of the animal got flavor from the zroya. And in kachim, the flavor is like the actual piece of meat. Only in kachim.
Yes.
Rava, yes, in tam ki'ikr. Only in tam ki'ikr. Do we say that the flavor is like a real piece of meat that got mixed in here, like you mixed in a piece of meat? Or no, if I could just pull out the meat and I have a little flavor, we don't care about it.
Chiddush in Nazir that it's not, it's like Chullin.
And the chiddush of Nazir, that's chulin. Exactly.
So it's Chullin and Nazir, we don't say tam ki'ikr.
Exactly. And kachim, you do say tam ki'ikr. Question is, why don't I learn from Nazir that tam is not like ki'ikr? I have a situation of zroya of a thing, and what would be the answer? Like we said yesterday, because Nazir is a big chiddush. Nazir is that I could go and put a zroya into a pot with Yisrael's food and cook it l'chatchila. You can't take milk and put it into meat and say, oh, I'm going to be mevatel l'chatchila. That's the same answer you said yesterday in Abayu. Same exact, and that's the sugi we're going to have now. Same wording, and we can really turn the page.
We didn't say it inside.
Right.
Say it
Chas
inside,
v'shalom,
we'll turn the page.
No, we can't actually turn the pages a lot before. I was just kidding.
Okay, good.
But let's see it inside.
Love Omer.
Rav Omer. Now we're holding on today's daf. You can take a picture now if you want. Rav Omer nitzrecha. This goes according to Rabbi Yehuda again. Elul tam ki'ikr. This halacha that the flavor has the same halacha as the main piece of meat. The bekachim osir. In kachim, according to Rava, in Rabbi Yehuda, it's osir. Komash malon the hachashari. So I would think by zroya of a nazir, it should also be osir. Kamash Malon, no. Okay. Rashi just brings down that there's tam ki'ikr. We learned from a pasuk in Chullin, and Chullin. We just said the tam ki'ikr is not in Chullin, so he says that's an asmachta. It's not the real place to learn. Okay. Ask the Gemara. Tzadik Tesam Dalef. Believe me or no. So if we have a source tells us that tam is not ki'ikr by kachim. Where? By Israel. We just had a source. It's not ki'ikr. So how come by other kachim we don't say the same thing? Let's say if a piece of noisar touched kachim, it should be. We should say no. It's just a flavor. Don't pay any attention because we see the same halacha by Israel. Says the Gemara. So there's a step before I cheated. There's one step first. there is a pasuk by chatos that says that anything that touches a chatos, just touching it, becomes like a chatos. So let's take a shlamim. You take a shlamim, and it touches a chatos. What does touching mean? At most, flavor. And flavor is nothing. But the Torah says it's very much something. If you just touch a chatos, the shlamim just touches a chatos, it turns into a chatos. Meaning, if the chatos is kosher, the shlamim turns into a chatos to its limitations. A shlamim you could eat for 2 days. You can eat it outside of the Beis HaMikdash. Comes chatos and says no. Eat it inside the Beis HaMikdash, eat it for 1 day. Because you just touched the chatos. Tamoy kikar.
Therefore what?
1 minute. Tamoy kikar by kachim. This is why you see that the tam is so chashuv, we have to consider a little bit of flavor because it just touched. V'chol hashiyiga doesn't say bishol, it doesn't say anything. It touched it. Boom. Touching means a little tiny microscopic piece went on it. Wine kachim, yes, and the Gemara says, why don't we learn from Zroya that flavor is nothing? We don't care about flavor. You just cook the whole Zroya in a pot with the Yisrael's meat. The Yisrael is allowed to eat it, even though it has flavor of the Zroya. Learn from all kachim.
We can't learn it from there.
Why? Because the Chol Chatos tells us by all kachim that, but now we have 101.
No, so they have something very special by Nazir.
But this is also very special by Chatos. Maybe you should learn from Chatos. You have here Nazir and you have here Chatos. We say we learn from Chatos. But let's just say, what is Chatos? The last piece is that if the Chatos is pasul, let's say a guy thought about pigul while he's shechting the Chatos, so the Chatos becomes pasul. That touches a shlamim, also becomes also to eat, yeah. Liyos, Liyos kemoyoshim psuloti pasul. If the Chatos was possible because he thought about pigul, the shlamim also becomes pasul. And if it's kosher, then you can only eat it for 1 day and in the Beis HaMikdash. Ask the Gemara, my chaz is the Gamino Me'ach. Why are you learning out from Chatos? What?
Not just touches, it's touches and boleh.
There has to be an impart. It had to impart a flavor.
Much more chiddush.
It has to be that it imparts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it touches and it's magic.
Right. But the point is this tam. We're talking about tam. Yeah. Chidushu. Zroya is a big chidush. Why is Zroya a big chidush? Because Zroya, you could go and be mevatel lechatchila. You could take a pot full of the Yisrael's goat and put in the kohen's Zroya into it on purpose, where you can never do such a thing in the whole Torah. Lechatchila. So since you're mevatel isra on purpose, that's a big chiddush. So I cannot learn out from it anything else. The kula. So then don't learn anything out of Zroya. Even the whole concept of 1 in 60 that we know today, and 1 in 100, depending if you're going to use the bone or not use the bone. But they go together. Shishim and 100 are the same. Says the Gemara the same thing we said yesterday. Are we trying to learn a kula here? We're learning out of chumrah. Rabbi say, if you have 2 pieces of nevela that cooked in one piece of nevela that cooked with 2 pieces of kosher meat, lichatchila you could eat the whole dish. The nevela, you can eat a piece of chazer. Why? Because it's 2 to 1. So we're learning that you need 30 to 1. You need 60 times the amount. 60 to 1. What did I say? 30 to 1, whatever. You need 100 to 1. So it's a tremendous chumrah. You're going from only 2 to 1 to 60 to 1 to 100 to 1. So that I could learn, because you don't want to learn. It's a chumrah. Chumrah I can learn. You can't learn a kula out of Israel, but you can learn a chumrah. And finally, again, so what's the question? What is this statement on top here? That this is a heter that comes from within Israel. This is the one time in the Torah that you have a concept. It should be aser, and it's motor. So Ravina says a completely different shot. We're not going into review the now, into Tabai and Rava. We had this earlier in Chullin. If a ben pekua, let's say, sticks out its hand from the mother's womb, and you chop off the hand is Ever Menachai, and the rest of the animal is mutter. What about the part that touched the knife, that's inside the mother's stomach? That you're not allowed to eat. That you have to get rid of a little bit of it. Over here in Zeraya, over here in Zeraya, you're allowed to eat it. Where else do we have this concept? By Ever Medal, the same thing. If you have a limb that's just holding out the string, you cut it off, the part that you cut is aser.
What are you allowed to eat? The
part that the zroa touches.
The knife. Where the knife cut it. Where if you were to take that same animal, pretend it's a ben pekua, you wouldn't be able to eat the knife part. Over here, you're allowed to eat the knife part. That's the whole chiddush. Exactly. In the rest of the Torah, it's also shari, and over it's mutter. And Memela, I still learn out from here the whole concept of batal b'shishim, batal b'meya, etc. Yosef Rav Dimi v'komer lo shmaitzo. So Rav Dimi said this halacha over that there's a concept of 160th, 100th. Amalei Abaye v'chol yisim sheba Torah b'meya. So if you hold like the man that says 100th. I don't know if that helped you, Avi. This I sent it out early. Oh, okay, fine. You probably saw it better than everybody else because these guys, it's very. Now, the lashon over here is a little bit complicated, maybe. For me, it was, but the concept is very, very simple. Let's see it inside. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll do it outside first. Bosnan. It says in a Mishnah in Arla. It's two Mishnayos, one after another. One is called the Reisha, one is called the Seifa, and they basically say the same thing, very simple, just with a variation. Lama amru kol mechametz umetabel umedameh lahachmir. We're talking about truma mixing in with Chullin. So if you mix in truma, let's say you take sourdough and mix it in with flour. What is that? Is that a min b'minoi, min b'shein minoi? What do you think, Stam?
Should be.
It should be, and it is. Rashi says it is. Sourdough comes from flour. You're right; it has a completely different flavor. Eventually, Taisus talks about it. You can make it into sour, whatever. It's considered min b'minoi. You take tavlinim, and you again a question of min b'minoi. You're mevashel. You're cooking truma with chulin. Now, says the Mishnah.
Meat, one's spicy, one's not, but still both meat.
Right.
One's just more
Yeah.
flavorful.
Okay. That's what Rashi says. That's how he holds. So it goes like this: Min uminoi lahakelu lahachmir. Sorry. Lahachmir. Min uminoi. So now, if stop right, it's just the wording. Arla is it's a little hard. When it comes to min b'minoi, chumra. When it comes min she'enei minoi, kula. Now, if we fast forward to the end of the sugya, it's fascinating. What's the chumra? What's the kula? The chumra is at the end of the sugya. Is both. Yeah, yalagul achmer. But the point is that there's a little bit of a kula here. The chumra part is fine. Where's the whole difference between min b'minoi and min b'she'enei minoi? Apples and apples and apples and oranges. What's the whole difference? Whether you mevatel with 101 or in 100. That's the whole kula. The Mishnah says it's a big kula. You don't have to do 101. You could be mevatel by 100. That's the end of the sugya. That's the whole point. But let's see it inside. There's a big chumrah when it comes to min b'minoi, and then the Mishnah says lahakil ulahachmir min b'she'enei minoi. There's even a kula when it's min b'she'enei minoi, when it's apples and oranges, when it's lentils and split peas. Uktani seifa lahakil ulahachmir min b'she'enei minoi ketzad. So now we're jumping to the second Mishnah. How do I have a kula in min b'she'enei minoi by two types of foods? Ketzad, grisin that are in English split peas. Shin is bashlu ma'adoshim, which mixed. Grisim is okay. He says I looked it up. The Arshville says split peas. I don't know. You're right.
We're talking about Truman.
Fine.
Still.
Shin is bashlu ma'adoshim. Yeah, we're talking about Truman chulin. But the min, the two types of food are different minim. Shin is bashlu ma'adoshim. They lentils. Im yesh b'hem b'noisin tam. If it imparts a flavor even 101 times, cannot be mevatel. And by the way, the same exact halacha is by min b'she'enoi minoi. There's no difference in this halacha. If it gives off a flavor, it's never batal.
Of course,
Oh yeah, you're right. It's talking about min b'she'enoi minoi, but of course, by min minoi, ein b'hem b'noisin tam. Now here's what Abaye wants. This part over here. If it doesn't have any flavor, so there's two conditions here. First of all, you have to have no flavor, and then you have to have 101. Okay, two things. If you want this mixture, truma and chulin, to be mutter, zero flavor, and 101 times the bittul.
Even if it doesn't have.
Ben shesh b'me'elas b'me'ev echad. Ben b'me'elas b'me'ev echad mutter. Okay, fine, you're right. Ein b'em lalis b'me'ev echad el b'mai la b'shishim. So Abaya says, so it doesn't have 101. What does it have? What's the next level? 60. So if we stop right over here, what's Abaya's question? You say that it always has to have 100 times the amount in order to mevatel. Over here I have Mefurish in the Mishnah 60.
If Ein Nois and Tam.
Ein Nois and Tam. And it's B'mim She'enim Minoi. B'mim She'enim Minoi. No flavor is mevatel by 60, not in 100. 101. Loi b'meya. No, it doesn't mean 60. It means don't be mevatel in 101. Be mevatel in 100. So it's a little bit different. Min b'shein minoi, without a flavor. Mevatel with 100. As the Gemara of Amidaresha b'meya havi seifa b'shishim. Now, obviously, if the Resha by min b'minoi is 100, and it says, and you're coming to be Mekel, so it can't go from 100 to 100, it has to go from 100 to the next level, which is 60. The Ktani Reisha, okay, now let's see the Reisha. Lahachmir min minoi keitzad, how do I machmir if it's the same min? Sor shechitim shenav alisas chitim. Here, Gemara says, you have truma, that's the sourdough, that fell into dough, v'yesh bo kedei lechametz, and you could taste it, like we said before, if it gives off flavor, even 101 times the amount is not mevatel it by truma and chulin. What? I don't care what it's there for. Could you feel it or not? If you could taste it, then you're gone. There's no way out of this. Anybody else what?
Because nice and time is not bottle.
Right. If it doesn't have 101, also. So over here, now here's an interesting nekuda that when it says b'meya ve'echad, the way Abaye learned this is 101 with the truma. So really Abaye was learning that this means 100 times the amount, not 101, and that was his mistake. He thought that it means 101 together with what's usher. So you have 100 to the 1. Which makes sense because that's how we learn from the Sifri. It's always the 100. We don't really know where the 101 comes from. Says the Gemara, Reisha v'Seifa b'meya. So if 101 means really 100, you mevatel with 100, so then it comes out that the Reisha and the Seifa are both 100, so there's no kula in the Seifa. Loi, Reisha b'meya v'chad, it's talking about 101 without the truma, so it's 102 total. V'seifa b'meya, and the Seifa is talking about 101 total. In other words, there's 100 that are mutter and 1 that's aser. So it comes out a very interesting thing. The Mishnah is calling it a kula on 1%. You don't have to do a bittul on 101, you can do a bittul on 100. Okay. What? Less than 1%, because you're already at 101, yeah.
So it's 1 in 99.
Less. Right. 1 in 101. 1 in 101. So now, okay, so that's it. That's the sugya. Abaye wanted to say that I have a situation where you can be mevatel 1 in 60th, and he says no. It doesn't say anywhere 1/60th. It says 1 in 100. And it fits in very nicely. According to the man, it says 1 in 100. It's 1 in 100. And there's a situation. It's 1 in 101. But I never have a situation of 1 in 1/60th. Abaye's question is, where do you come up with the 100? I have a whole mission in Arla that tells me a share of 160. It doesn't say Mefurish. I can be medayik. His dik is off, and Memela, we stay with 1 in 100. Just the question is, why in the world is it you have sourdough that you put it into a mixture that's 101 times the amount? Says Rashi, if you look smack in the middle of the page, Rashi says, is it possible in Metzias that something gives off flavor that you could detect it when you have 101 times the amount? What's the Gemara's answer? Yes. It could. We actually learned that. What?
One is when it's min b'mino, you can't tell. You don't know what time you're tasting, if it's the Isser or the head. That's the point.
You physically can't tell, but does it do anything? Does it do anything? Does it create something? By sa'ar, it's not a question of flavor. By sa'ar, it's a question of creating. Does it create a reaction to the dough?
Where that percentage of the amino, if it wouldn't react, so we have to assume that even if it's amino, it's not doing it.
Says the Gemara, Ishtik. Rav Dimi had nothing to answer him. Omar Lei, Abaye tells Rav Dimi, you know what? I asked you the question. I'm going to be a nice guy. I'm going to help you out here. Dil Mashani Sa'ar Dechimutzi Kosher. I don't remember. I forgot to look it up, but we had it somewhere, like maybe in Avodah Zarah. That this sourdough is a very powerful thing. It's powerful. So, right, Levi, we saw the whole thing. One little piece. They send it from America to Israel in an envelope, and Bekitzer, he makes his whole bakery functions on this one piece that he got from America. And each one has a different flavor, and the whole.
Work than the self-rising.
Yeah. Self-rising is a joke compared to this stuff. You just thinking what?
We're not necessarily looking at taste. We're looking at what the reaction.
Yeah. That's what I was telling him. It's not taste; it's reaction. And on my lay.
Charev is never muffled because it's always
Right. Well, like we said by Tavlin. Right. Yeah. On my lay at Kartim Milsa. So Rav Dimi says, "Oh, you just reminded me something. Now you just refresh my memory." The Omar Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Chanina loikal shurim shavin. Not everything has this 1 in 100. Sharit tzir, the fish brine shiurei karev l'masayim. Fish brine. Rashi goes through the cheshbon is 192 times. This nan, that's why the Gemara says karev l'masayim.
everyone at the table.
The brine. This nan dag tamei tzirei asur. Rabbi Yomer revius b'sasayim. It's one revius in two saw, meaning 192. It's 192 times. In order to mevatel fish brine, you need to put 192 times the amount. So you see that there's things that go more than that. So sa'ar is also one of those things that goes more than 100. You need more than 100 to mevatel it. But you're telling me that Rabbi Yehuda is the one that says that you need 192 times the tzir in fish. Wait a minute. Tzir in fish is min b'minoi. According to Rabbi Yehuda, min b'minoi loy batal. So how you mevatel with 192? Even a million is not mevatel it. V'amar Rabbi Yehuda min b'minoi loy batal. Shani tzir de almo. That's not min b'minoi. The fish brine is just sweat. We have this lashon of sweat also, like by made kairos. Just mayim ba'alma. It's condensation. It's not part of the fish.
What is it mixed with?
Brine comes from a fish, but it's not from the meat of the fish. It's the liquid that's sitting there in the fish. It's not considered part of the fish. It's not considered fish.
What do you mean?
Halachically, it's not fish. Just like apple juice is not considered an apple. It's not. It's zeya. It's just liquid.
Is considered zeya?
I think so. So
Really?
a lot of times juices are considered
The
zeya.
whole apple that comes in a cup.
But
That's zeya?
this pulp.
This is different.
This pulp. Yeah.
That's what shackle.
Right, no, because you changed the tzura.
We didn't change the tzura. It is the tzura. According to you, it is the
The
tzura.
apple's tzura changed.
Who
It's not the
cares?
same thing. That's why it becomes shakal. But fish, it's a different thing. It's not you can't compare those two things.
No, I'm
Fish,
telling
you're not
you.
taking the fish the
All I'm
same.
saying is that by mashkin we call mei peiros zeya ba'alma. It's just sweat. Yeah, you don't understand. I don't either
Apple juice is
understand
called
100%.
mezeh.
That's what it calls.
Are you sure it's that?
I have a riddle for the oilam. This is for 100 points. It's not on the topic. It is on the topic. What kind of tzir? What kind of brine?
$100. Listen.
100 points. What kind of brine?
Points are regular year points.
Very good. Very good. This is 1,000 Pesach points. It's 100 Daf Yomi points. Yeah. So what kind of brine is asim in Torah?
Shratzen.
Very good. Ding 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 ding. But without cheating. So now everybody else gets a chance. I was expecting you to say it. I thought he was going to say it. No, but Taisus, the Bib Alma is, how do you see it? The article has, let me see this.
We have brine, shratzen.
Oh my gosh, it comes with the highlight and everything. Show the item, look at this. This is high-tech Taisus. Look at this. It even says brine of Shratzim in highlight.
It's called Texas.
Wow.
Brine and shratzen.
Yeah,
Very useful, this machine.
yeah. Because we use all the iScroll pictures, you should buy the iScroll app. It's very good.
Dedication of this time still available.
Somebody, my son-in-law bought me. He got me the Art Scroll app. I've never opened it up once. If somebody wants to show me how to.
You got him this Shas, this Shas, and he got you the app. It's beautiful.
I didn't get it for him yet.
You didn't get it?
No, it's
The
IOU.
app doesn't cost much.
No, because he wants the
leather
Masifta leather belt. Maybe he went off of that. Hopefully he went off of
I'm gonna
that.
buy the shelf.
Meanwhile, he uses my little
This.
the soft cover Masiftas out of my closet. Yeah. Zog the Gemara. Hi, Meir. Says the Gemara, Ketza Misharin. We got to slow down, Rabbi. So over here, we got to go slow. Anybody has any jokes or anything? What?
You can move. It's fine.
Okay, I have averages from Nachman. Ketza Misharin. Omer Avuno Kibasa B'Rosh Lefatas. Remember that picture? That the meat imparts flavor to the turnips.
Turn up.
Now that's what it says in the Mishnah. We just stuck in a word here. I don't know if you noticed. It says Kibasa B'Rosh Lefatas. At the heads of the turnips. So says Rashi here, maybe we can see it inside actually because we have a little time. B'Rosh Lefatas, Yerek Shalefet. V'lu nire Sherei Shalefes Motek Miznavai. Says Rashi that the reason why the Gemara is stuck in the word, the top of the turnip, is because it's sweet. So what if it's sweet? Meat is also sweet. So in order to impart flavor from sweet to sweet, it takes a lot of work. In order to detect the flavor from one sweet item to another one. So therefore it's a lot harder. The Gemara says you need to go a lot stronger. You need to leave it in longer, bigger, better, in order to get the taste into from basar to lefes. The bottom part of the turnip, which is bitter, it's very easy to detect the meat. So that's what the Gemara says. We're not talking about the bottom, we're talking about the top. Says the Gemara, so if so, we have a big problem. Our Mishnah cannot go like this Tana. And as the Gemara is going to say in 1 second, this Tana is halacha l'maisa, that a gid doesn't even give flavor. So our whole Mishnah cannot be going according to the halacha. Because it says it imparts flavor to the point where a meat to a turnip, but it imparts flavor. There's no flavor at all to gid. And by the way, Taisa says that if you hold ein begidim b'noisen tam, then it's also to have a nov from a gid. So then he asks, so how do you sell the hind quarter to a guy with the gid? Because you have zero hanav from it. The guy is never paying you an extra nickel for that gid that you left in there that has zero flavor. I hold that has zero flavor, so I'm not paying you extra money for that. Because the Torah says gid hanosh is also. Ahu the asal kamei de Reb Chanino. Havi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda Bazvina Bava. So Reb Chanina was inside, he's the Rav. And Rabbi Yehuda Bazvina really wanted to learn a lot what's going on here. Kinafak Omarle, there was a guy that came in with a gid hanosh stuck in his soup. And he said, what do I do? So Reb Chanina says, whatever he says. Oh, you know the story?
That's a joke. What's it doing in my soup?
No, I also know the story because in Daf Mem Zayin it says the same exact words with different characters and a different story completely. It was just there's a Moira, I forget, it was Daf Mem Zayin. There's a Moira. He was waiting outside and he was asking people that came out what's going on, and they said, "Oh, we're talking about the unas. Remember from the thing last night? If it has an extra lobe, and he said it's kosher, not kosher, and he says go back inside. And then when he went back inside, the Rav inside knew who sent him back in. He says, tell that guy outside, Hakshin Chainik, you know what I'm saying? So over here, same exact words, different story, completely different characters. It says, Omalei, Sharinale. He said that the gid hanasha doesn't cause any issues in my soup or in my tafshel. Omalei, Hadar Kama. You got to go back in. You didn't ask it the right way. You got to ask again. Omar, I was at my grandmother's yard site 2 weeks ago, and my uncle started saying her name in a certain way, and all of a sudden my aunt said, no, her name is, my grandmother's name has Herta in it. Herta is a German name. So my uncle is Bnei Braki, he erased the name, it's like it doesn't even exist. On the caver, it says it with parentheses. So they went to ask Reb Chaim, so my aunt starts screaming, mamish, like the biggest isser happened. Well, you have to say Herta, hey, Aleph, and he doesn't want to do this in another 10 minutes. So like we asked Reb Chaim, Reb Chaim says you have to say it. And she says, I asked once, and you said maybe he didn't say it, so I went again, and I asked 3 times. That's what he asked, you said, maybe he didn't say Gid Anosh, maybe he said Gid, go back in and ask again. Ask again. Omalei, okay, you gotta go back in. Maybe you didn't ask it right. Omar man hayde come entirely. So Chanina said, "What's going? Somebody's outside making me crazy." Zilei malei, go tell that guy outside. You see, but they weren't allowed inside. They had to wait by the door. They couldn't like be in mishamish over there. Well, you wanna hack a chance outside. Zilei malei leman de Yosef abava. Tell that guy standing by the door. Ein beginning benois and tam. End the story. The halacha is ein beginning benois and tam. That's why I said your soup. Rabbi said, what happens if the gid falls from the soup? I cook it for 6 hours. I pull out the gid, says Rashi, take it out, and the whole soup is kosher. It gave zero flavor. So that's it. Mamela the whole time. Rashi says for some reason take it out. Maybe because you might eat it by mistake. Whatever the reason is. He said it's mutter to eat a gid, or the tashel of a gid. But he didn't hold it like that. There is no flavor halachically. Zayt gezor. Oh, wait a minute, Rabbi Say, if you just want to hear a beautiful taisvis, ain't beginning benois and tam. But what about this stuff? This chaylev. So Rashi says it's a problem. You got to be careful of it. Taisvis says, remember that beautiful taisvis that we had. That the what you learn. Why is this shuman bad? Because it's like the gid. People confuse it with the gid. It's agav the gid. It can't be worse than the gid. Taisvis said. The Rivam said in the other daf that you can't be like dialovim and adin liyis kenidan. You can't be worse.
But the chaylev is nice and tam.
It is nice and tam, but it's only because of the gid. The whole list is because of the gid. This is mutter. No, this is mutter chaylev. It's only midirabanan because of the gid, and the gid